Hello and welcome. This is Chris Janke of Health in the Real World podcast. You are not seeing things if you're watching this on YouTube. There will be no video today with this particular podcast. This is an audio only podcast. I'm here today with Dr. Wayne Pickering, and I'm really excited to have him on the show. Here we go.
It's the Health in the Real World podcast. It's time to start the show with Chris Janke as your host. Here to give you everything that you need when it comes to fitness strategies. We keep it simple and easy. It's your roadmap to get healthy. You don't need equipment and you don't need a gym. Just the right strategies to get you fit and trim.
The Health in the Real World podcast is sponsored by most exercises and workouts, whether they be running, biking, elliptical, rowing machine, traditional weightlifting, or even CrossFit, do not give you a balanced workout. And when you do workouts that neglect even one area, you're out of balance, resulting in pain and injury as well. Achieve your goals with the fitness program your chiropractor would love. Visit chrisjanke.com/pod to watch the free video. Welcome to Health in the Real World. We're here today with Dr. Wayne Pickering. I'm super excited to be with Dr. Wayne. He's a nutritional performance coach, a lifestyle management consultant, and a disease prevention specialist who teaches people how to be, I love this, the healthiest person on the planet and not the wealthiest person in the grave. It focuses on nutrition as a basic philosophy. If you want to be tough, you got to eat good stuff. Dr. Wayne, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. I've got so much to share with you. And since we're speaking the same language, I've been in 25 countries, 3 wars. And when I find somebody that speaks English in another country, that's terrific. But if they speak the same language, wow, that's a wow moment. You and I are speaking the same language, and I'm excited to be with you today to share the message of what our topic's going to be today.
That's great. You've been doing this a long time. You have a doctorate in naturopathy, and you even have a theology degree, right? With the master in
Correct.
nutrition. That's
hmm
fantastic. Written 10 health guides, 25 books. You have many websites, audio learnings. You're just absolutely prolific with how much you've given, and I again really appreciate you joining us here today.
Thank you. It's good to be with you, really.
Good. And we're going to talk about what kind of intrinsic motivation for health. So health, why bother? So what do we do kind of as a general big picture, what do we do to stay motivated about our health on a day-to-day level?
Good question. Well, let me tell you, we need to play this game of life. And here is Willie Sturgis, famous umpire. Opening game, World Series, New York Yankee Stadium. The umpire walks up and takes that whisk broom out of his pocket, and he bends down there to wipe off the home plate. Tell me, Chris, what are the 2 words that he says to get the game going?
Play ball.
There you go. Notice he never ever said work ball. He said he said play ball.
Right.
And that's what we need to do with this game of life. And we need to play it to win. And if we make the right moves when we play a game of checkers, the right moves, the right jumps, good common sense, and good strategy, we win that game of checkers.
Mm.
This is what we have to do with the game of life. And if we put everybody that's listening to this, write down on a piece of paper a 1 letter on each page, acronymically, the word checkers, Checkers. The C is our career, the H is our health, the E is our emotions. There's only 3 kinds of emotion, by the way: mad, glad, and sad. The C is our communication, our interaction with people. The K is knowledge. The E is our economics, the money side of our lives. The R is recreation, got to have fun in your life, and the S is the spiritual side. So if we implement those into our lifestyle, then but if you look at them, if you take the health, when your health is shot, nothing else means a hoot to you. So our main focus here is teaching people how to be the healthiest person on the planet and not the wealthiest person in the grave. But we do it with a focus on nutrition and with the basic philosophy. If you want to be tough, you've got to eat good stuff. So people think they're safe with their health if they have insurance. No, 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 no. You don't treat disease, you beat disease. Do you know that there was over 550,000 people last year who declared bankruptcy, Chris, just
Mm.
because they had to sell their homes just to pay off health bills?
Wow.
Now, keep this in mind. The big print giveth, and the small print taketh away. And notice this, healthy people have lots of goals. Unhealthy people only have one goal. So my story is all about, when I've been in three wars, I was wounded in Vietnam, I was sick all the time, but it was precisely what I needed at that moment in time to get me to the level in this divine plan in my life. So in life, things just don't happen. They happen justly. So you ask me what keeps people motivated? Every 3 seconds of every single day, a baby dies of just contaminated water around the world. Now you do the math. That's a lot. And 1 in 5 kids will in this world will never see their fifth birthday. You're living in a great area of the world, and everybody has their ups and downs. So, what keeps me motivated about my health? First of all, I'm going to be teaching you a little while here about the three great lessons about being healthy when we close off. But, uh, you know, most people think they're healthy if they're not sick. What keeps me motivated? I always encourage my audiences to go ahead and go to these nursing homes and all of that. And if you think you're going to go there and get a good meal, you've got another thing coming. Now, granted, some people are genetically blessed to be able to ward off a lot of the ill effects of their unhealthful practices for a while, but sooner or later, we will pay. It's just the law of life. So here's my mantra for everybody to write this down when you're thinking about your little going someplace in your car and all this. And I say this a lot actually, and it's all about those health challenges that everybody has. But here's the little sentence I use: I now cast this burden on thee, and I go free. Because what we visualize in our minds, Chris, we realize in time.
Right.
So one last little thing, because I know that you've got a lot of things that you'd like to cover today, but I'm now totally healthy, totally free of all aches, pain, stress, and disease. Keep these positive things going on, and that's how I keep myself on top of my game. Back at you, buddy.
That's great. I love that. And you touched on this, and I agree. We are so blessed. I mean, everybody listening to this has some sort of device to listen to it on, and we have, the modern world blesses us with all kinds of gadgets and gizmos, and you know food transportation and information. People can look you up online at the touch of a finger. What what do you have for us in this modern lifestyle? Like, why should we take it to that next step? We're so blessed with everything we have. What do we what's kind of our responsibility in that? Like, why bother? I guess going back to the theme, why bother?
Okay, good. Well, excuse me. Here's what makes me persistent with my health, Chris. I'm flat scared not to, as you don't have a chance the conventional way. You know what I mean? You definitely don't
Yeah.
want to be sick for a number of reasons. First of all, people don't hire sick people. People don't want to be around sick people. People don't want to marry sick people. People don't use sick people as role models. People just pity sick people. So being sick really is quite a lonely venture, and it's your moral duty to be well, as you are of absolutely no use to anybody when you're sick, and definitely a drain on all of your loved ones. So here's how I see life as a whole. By the way, I'm very spiritually connected and not religiously confined.
I like that.
If we honor God and serve our fellow man slash woman, creating a service out of what we are genuinely passionate about, so that everybody who is involved with that service has equal opportunity gain, then we truly win in life. And here's a little gift for everybody. Nothing to buy, nothing to sign up for. Go to mangomancareer.com. That's an audio program that we put together, and there's a three-step plan in there that within 2 weeks you will, not maybe, you will know exactly what you're going to do for the rest of your life, guaranteed. And that's how I found myself when I was so sick. I was going nowhere, uh, uh, you know, blind in one eye from dropping acid into my eye by muriatic acid. And it was amazing, but it was all just what we needed at that moment in time. So we're special. Living is too short, by the way, and dying is too long. We're very special with a non negotiable self worth. You mentioned that I had my theology degree, and I appreciate that. But in Isaiah 43:4, God says to us, "You're precious and honor in my sight, and I love you." So, myself, here, I'm telling you blatantly right here and right now that you are a champ and not a chump. We're designed to win. We are special in every way, and we're not garbage dumps with hairy lids. This is our corporate headquarters, and we own 100% stock in a blue chip corporation. Never sell your stock cheap. You got to put a high price tag on that stock. Give yourself the best. Do you realize that we have a one shot lubricating system in our body? Now, you don't have that in a car, you don't have that in any mechanical things that's been invented. One shot lubricating. You put the food in one hole, everything is done for you. Now, in your car, you got to put oil in one hole, lighter, what do you call it? Windshield wiper fluid in another hole, brake fluid in another hole, this in another hole, that. So, but you're special. And do you know nothing excels the human hand in dexterity? And your fingernails grow at exactly the same rate as the way the earth plates move. And if you're into fitness, and I'm sure that you might have heard this before, Chris, if all of our 600 muscles pulled together in one direction, we could lift as much as 25 tons
Wow.
every day. Yeah,
That's
every. I
incredible.
mean, yeah, we're special, man. And
I
you
do
know that
know that
go ahead.
people when they get hit by lightning and it shoots them right like 100 feet. That is not actually because the lightning did it. It's actually a contraction of all the muscles, and they actually jump because of that contraction. So I believe it. Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
amazing.
Do you know? Yeah, yeah. Do you know that we have enough carbon right now for 9,000 lead pencils?
Wow.
Now, I'll conclude with this here as far as how special we are. Every 2 to 3 days, the lining in our mouth is totally renewed. Every 5 days, we've got a whole new intestinal lining. Every 11 days, all new respiratory lining. Every 15 days, all new white blood cells, corpuscles. Every 120 days, all new red ones. Every 6 months, we have a whole new bloodstream. Every 11 months, we have a whole new cell structure. Every 2 years, we have a whole new bone structure. And every 7 years, we have a whole new body.
Wow.
Now, if that's true, then why do we die? Pretty soon, if we keep on renewing ourselves, we ought to live forever. But what is the reality of all of that truth that I shared with you about the way the body renews itself? Okay, I know that you grew up in the age, as I did, that we had videos. Okay,
Right.
now you got a master video. You're going to make a copy of that video. You're going to put the master away in a safe somewhere. Now you're going to take a copy of that copy. You're going to make a copy of that copy from your original. Okay, and you do that about 10 times, and you're going to plug the 10th time that you did that, and you plug it in. Notice how the resonation and the resolution, I should say, isn't quite as clear and
Right.
not anything because, and it's only 10 generations. Your cells and everything constantly renew. And so they will ultimately deteriorate a little bit. But if you keep on thinking the great thoughts, remember what we think about, we bring about.
Yes.
And if we do this, if we start rewarding ourselves, thinking good thoughts, hey, by the way, I was doing 14 speaking engagements in Alabama this one time in a 12-day period. And Chris, I don't know if you've ever been on the stage or not, but to tear the stage down, and every one of them, by the way, were in a different town
Wow.
in Alabama. And so I'd tear the afternoon stage down, and then the crew and I, we would ride to the next town, set the stage up for the evening one. But there was, and that was a lot of work, but I enjoyed it because I learned a great lesson from all of that. There was, now they don't say Montgomery, they say Montgomery. And
Right.
but they all would come up to me in every one of those towns. A lot of people come up to me and they say, Dr. Pickering, he said, you make a lot of sense up there, buddy. Do you think I can get me a new start on life? I said, a new start. I'm going to play with that word. I said, of course I would say, but in my mind I was saying, I want to play with that word when I get back to my office. I did, and here is the way we get a new start with our health. If you write the word down, a new start, acronymically down the page, A is attitude, N is nutrition, E is exercise, W is water, S is sunshine, T is tenacity, A is air, R is rest, and T is temperance in all we do. So, what we think about heads the list, attitude, doesn't it? So, if
Definitely.
we think about this, and what we think about, we bring about. But if we have enough fortitude, I put this poem together one time. If we have enough fortitude to develop an attitude of sincere gratitude for our body's magnitude, we will have an aptitude to reach a higher latitude for an ultimate altitude.
Wow. I love that.
Thank you. Think good thoughts. Did you know that if all of the DNA in your cells were strung together from just one person, Chris, that it would stretch to the moon and back 3,000 times? So why bother? Because even at your worst, you're wonderful. Back to you, Chris.
Wow. That is incredibly motivating. There's
Thank you.
Listen to the rest of the interview in part 2, the attached YouTube video or audio file.